working together for a while, and I think we should talk a little bit about the pieces we've been working on. So you introduce one.
So Toxic Ballroom. So this piece essentially is about the mind, and it's about looking at those real complexities within the human mind. It shines a real light on mental health and anxiety, depression, just to name a few really. But I mean, the mind's so complex, Joe. But I just felt like Toxic Ballroom. I remember we were sat kind of like looking at some of the music for this and the melody, and whilst we were workshopping ideas, I remember we just sort of said Toxic Ballroom, and it kind of stuck.
Years ago, so that was like 3 years ago.
A long time ago, but it just kind of stuck. And I think it just described. I think in that moment, it really described. I'm not going to use the word perfectly, but in a way, actually, it was just the right explanation for how it can really feel when you're feeling frazzled and overwhelmed by literally everything known to man, like every human emotion that can come into the head. So this song really looks at that in a bit more detail, and we start to think about kind of what that means. What are we actually feeling? And we went down a little bit of almost traditional sort of upbeat ballroom style. But yeah, essentially that's Toxic Ballroom in a nutshell.
That's another one.
Suddenly Brave.
Oh, so suddenly, this is actually comes with a little bit of a story. So, as I stand here talking on camera, I hate it sometimes because I get the pressure, as I'm sure we all do, right? So I told Usman a story about this and about how one of my close friends, I told them a story about me being on camera, and then in an instant she made me feel better, and it was all of a sudden I got this, moment of like, I can do it, I'm suddenly brave, right? So I just told Usman this story on one of our creative meets, whatever, and within a minute Usman had got his song down, and it was so yeah, Suddenly Brave is just about, and he kind of opened up a world of being brave, and it opened up a world of feeling empowered, and then that kind of really, I'm very imagey, so like as we work together, Toxic Ballroom for me creates this I do circus, right? So it's, I need the, as did Suddenly Brave, but as I stepped into that music and stepped into that world, like I actually felt a little bit braver, right? So it's a little moment that helps me, but it's about being brave, and it's about kind of really facing them fears head on and achieving whatever your impossible might be, and actually understanding how you step outside whatever comfort zone is, your comfort zone is to embrace change. And again, we go back to that word all the time, change within ourselves, within the world, within the people, within the communities we work with, and then that moving. So yeah, Suddenly Brave, be brave, Suddenly Brave.
And what was the last one?
My Melody.
Yeah, okay. So that, I mean, we talk a lot about identity, and My Melody centres around a young child, and I was thinking specifically about how I might have felt as an 8-year-old child, going through kind of the things that I went through growing up, but it made me think about how a lot of children across the country, with their different upbringings, like how does a child feel with lots of chaos going on around them? What does that mean to them? Do they actually even understand how they feel? Because I don't know if they did, to be honest with you. Too much is happening, and it's a lot for an 8-year-old to process. And for a lot of children, it happens a lot younger as well. You've got children that really, really have some really significant things happen in their life, and they've got no idea how to process it. So this song's almost like, it's like a tribute to them. And like to a lot of adults now that look back on it and think, oh, do you know what? Like, that was hard. That was really tough. Actually, and let's celebrate the fact that we've got to now. Because I don't look at that as much anymore. I kind of think, okay, well, I just got here, but actually, I didn't just get here. No one just gets anywhere. We get here because of our resilience. Even if we don't know we have it, and acceptance. But actually, this is who we are, and this is what makes us who we are. My Melody is about my melody. It's about telling the personal story. And what's lovely about this is, even though it's inspired by my own personal story, it's going to relate, hopefully, to all of you guys, and you're going to all have your own melodies and your own stories that are going to feed right into this. So yeah, that's My Melody.
I want to pick up on something you said then about just your older self versus your younger self versus now. I think there's, as we've discussed, what shape the show takes and the characters and the people within the show. I think there's the element of the different generations of ourselves, you know, like what we will be in 40 years' time is not what we were 40 years ago, you know.
Yeah, and that's
20 years
okay.
ago, it's like, and the stories that we, and
you know,
delving into, I suppose we learn a lot about ourselves when we think back.
Absolutely.
And we think forward.
Hindsight's a really, really wonderful thing, you know, and you can't figure out what that is until you get to that point. So we spend all of our lives in the moment, and then you get to whatever age, maybe whether it's you transition from, I don't know, 25 and then you're 40. You'll know things at 40 that you didn't know when you were 25, and that's just the way life works. You know, it's very, very complex. It's quite stressful at times, but actually it's kind of part of the journey, and it's exciting, and we should look at it as an exciting journey. Let's accept what we have. Let's move forward with what we have, but tell all of those different stories separately. But then we'll try and bring them together as well.
Yeah.